But for a Juadei a year 20th July, Anna Chairman Wontumi yɛde ekɔkɔtwiri mu wɔ nsawam na yɛde no kɔto mu no ne lawyer lawyer Atta Akyea no oni Ghana na papa yɛde Wontumi a ɔyɛ ne client no kɔto mu no Atta Akyea has spoken for the first time. Say yɛde Wontumi kɔto mu no ɛno nti no yɛde ɛno bɛbrɔ na ɛno akyi yɛwɔ adɔfoɔ bi nso so a ɔmo kasa yɛnua bɛrima baako ɛte sɛ Paul Adom wɔkyere ɔno nso so ɔkasa paa ya na ne nsɛm a wɔkaeɛ no yɛwɔ ɛho ano yie ɛde ma no na yɛnua bɛrima Listowell nso so abɛkasa na ne nkasaeɛ no media mi hu ni sɛ ɛyɛ Paul Adom ɔkyere ne nsɛm a wɔkaeɛ no ho ano yie ana ɛyɛ Listowell ɛde baeɛ na yɛwie a yɛbɛhwɛ deɛ emre bi ɛyɛ yɛ papa alankyerɛmaten ɔka kyerɛ ɛyɛ Wontumi ɛno akyi no nso so yɛbɛkɔ ne akɔhwehwɛ mu na yɛahyɛ Wontumi ne sentencing no sɛdeɛ ɛkyerɛ yɛbɛhwɛ ɛno nso so na yɛahwɛ the details of it so we come saying 20 years no ɛyɛ ɛnfie dodoɔ sɛn na fines no so ɛde ama no nso so ɛno nso so ho asɛm ɛte sɛ ne nyinaa yɛbɛhwɛ saa details ne nyinaa ɛno nti yɛnkɔ tie lawyer Atta Akyea the first time wa ɛyɛ Wontumi lawyer ɔkasa for the first time after 48 hours ayɛde Wontumi ɛkɔto mu.
Mr. Samuel Atta Akyea, good evening and welcome to the Channel 1 newsroom.
Good evening.
You were seeking an adjournment until a date when you could be present in Ghana. How did you receive the news of the sentencing?
Well, I was surprised because serious constitutional issues have been raised before the judge. And by now, you know, the Forum for Constitutional Interpretation is not the High Court. In terms of Article 130, it is the Supreme Court. So I thought that in all fidelity to law and also due process, the judge will make a referral. I thought I could get a date when I return from my trip abroad, which was just, I'm returning tomorrow, God being my help. But the judge said no, she will not have any of that, and that she wants to go on and give a bench ruling that she has interpreted the Constitution and there's no need for her to make a referral to the Supreme Court. I believe that we could pursue this further and get the whole decision quashed.
Counsel, have you had any communication with Chairman Wontumi since the sentencing was handed down?
No, please, because he's in Sawan prison. Probably when I come into the realm, I'll find him.
Well, the NPP has indicated that it intends to appeal, and his former lawyer, Andy Apiakubi, has expressed a similar view. Are you still Chairman Wontumi's lawyer, and will you be leading any appeal on his behalf?
Well, what I've heard, which I will not subvert, is a hard fact that the NPP legal team want to have a collaboration with me, which I will not resent. For one simple reason that when you have a congregation of lawyers, the quality or the output is always good. So unless you are cocky, that you resent the fact that some lawyers are joining you to do a good job. So it will be a collaboration, and I welcome that.
Right. Some critics are also suggesting that Chairman Wontumi did not receive adequate legal representation during the trial. Now, having reviewed the proceedings and the evidence, do you agree with that assessment?
Well, Mami, with the greatest of respect, you're putting me in a very difficult position to second guess what another lawyer did. But be that as it may, I inherited a concluded matter, and I found serious issues with what I inherited in terms of even the adduction of evidence, in terms of constitutional interpretation, and I put together a 50-page final address. I mean, which was very, very cruel of me, but I have to have sleepless nights to put it together. Unfortunately for me, the judge did not internalize what I wrote and came out with something which we want to challenge in the Court of Appeal. And most probably, I deal with it by way of certiorari in the Supreme Court.
Counsel, based on the evidence presented during the trial, do you believe Chairman Wontumi ought to have been acquitted?
Very much so. If you look at it from the perspective that this, evening on Joe FM, the Deputy Attorney General, Dr. Sremsai, admitted that the two major witnesses they used against Wontumi were culprits. They were supposed to be prosecuted. So they went into a plea bargain with the Attorney General. And one of the terms of the plea bargain was that they will become prosecution witnesses for the Attorney General. Can you imagine that? So when a man has an interest in the way a case should go, do expect credibility to come from that individual. And when you say that the man's oath against the one who's not bound himself to a plea bargain, which one should hold sway? What's the meaning of making issues and resolution of doubt in favor of the accused persons? It leaves much to be desired. You're looking at some interpretation they might want to put on assignment of a mineral right. And how was he going to assign it? Go onto my concession, a valid concession I have, and do reclamation. If the two culprits who were turned into prosecuting witnesses turned to be wayward people and did galamsey, how do you attribute the mens rea and everything to Chairman Wontumi? So a lot of things are very, very untoward, and we'll deal with it.
Counsel, what are some of the grounds of appeal you've seen so far?
Oh, several. For example, there are constitutional matters that she totally ignored. There is a huge issue of the value the judge placed on those people who were supposed to be prosecuted, PW1 and PW2, but were converted to prosecution witnesses. And how the judge will place value on the integrity of these individuals who are buying their freedom. I can't come to terms with that. And the issue of assignment of the mining, right, is also an issue that we'll look at. So there's a whole legion of grounds of appeal that we will use to subvert the whole appeal, because the decision is wrong in law.
On assignment, was it just because, or was your problem just because it wasn't in writing?
Well, let me pose a very simple question. Not just that, but that is what the law demands. An assignment should be in place, and then you seek the approval of the minister. But the question is, if you had a farmland, this is your farm, and then you hire people to go and work on the land, does it mean that you have assigned your interest and right to them? Does the worker on the farm becomes the owner of the farm? That is how basic I believe it is. But the judge didn't want to see that at all. How did he do it? And guess what? Even we are having issues like the only consideration which the prosecution witnesses admitted was that, they shouldn't give him any money, but they should replant, they should plant coconut, and then when they should have a good harvest, they shared 50-50. So what is the point of giving a concerning to people so that you harvest 50% of the fruits of coconut? How can that be criminal? There's an exculpatory evidence in his favor. For example, this same Wontumi has written to RESEC in the Western region, complaining bitterly about how people are doing illegal mining on his concession. The crusader against galamsey now becomes a victim. The judge didn't want to talk about the exculpatory evidence, which simply meaning that there are certain things that are in favor of the accused person. But the judge didn't even touch on that. That's unfortunate.
Lawyer, what about the judge's explanation that Henry Okum used the land adversely to Wontumi'S rights?
Well, how would you attribute the criminality of that to Wontumi? That is the point. You can't transfer crime on another person, especially in terms of the mental disposition to commit a crime. So sometimes the reasoning in some areas were self-defeating. I didn't see how anybody could come to conclusion that, look, I'm using circumstantial evidence to convict this man. There's no direct evidence. But the question is, circumstantial evidence should lead irresistibly to one conclusion. The Supreme Court has a number of authorities on that. So if indeed the people were wayward, hirelings on the concession, how does it constitute a crime against Wontumi, who was not wayward? So these are the matters and many more that will canvass before the Court of Appeal.
Lawyer, do you think the absence of payment for reclamation was essential in this case?
I don't see how the reclamation should even not weigh favorably. In favor of.
Hello, counsel. Counselor, unmute yourself. Hello? For us. Yes, go ahead. Yes, we can. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I am of the humble view that the reclamation is so strong in favor of Wontumi. Yes, and I don't see how that could be converted into a criminal thing. And somehow those people who were supposed to be prosecuted, they also admitted that there were issues of reclamation. But how do you get him, incriminated, unless you add a dimension that we're also supposed to do illegal mining? Because they've signed a document with the Attorney General that they'll have to come and testify against the man.
Right.
So see, the body of freedom in material sense.
The NPP has described Wontumi as a political prisoner. Do you agree with that description?
Well, the description, is fair. How do I say so? Because at the end of the day, you are asking that when you have arrested even the culprits who are on the land in the Galamsey, you didn't want to prosecute them. But you single out Wontumi for prosecution. Meanwhile, this issue of Galamsey is so serious and the dynamics are so frightening that even government officials have been fingered as promoting Galamsey. So if you don't want to prosecute the real culprits, a lot of individuals are doing Galamsey, including government officials, by saying that Wontumi for prosecution. It's fair to say that this is a political persecution and has become a political prisoner.
Lawyer, you arrive in Ghana, God willing, tomorrow. When should we expect an appeal to be filed?
Well, we've already put together our grounds of appeal, and it's under consideration. Immediately, the conclave agrees that, look, what we have put together is very sound. We shouldn't waste time. I'm tempted to believe that latest by next week we should file our notice of appeal.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Lawyer Samuel Atta Akyea.
My pleasure as always.
Mijiri sautin Samuel Atta Akyea, Lawyer Atta Akyea Wontumi lawyer okan yankotie de Paul Adom Ochre eka ne yewia yebe ma Listowel enso so e de ehumuaye e de amano. Me say Listowel wan hwe Paul Adom Ochre video no na enso so emuaya. And now saying Samuel Listowel Academy, who is say a Paul Adom Ochre and some no pepe a whom wire and a Listowel or de Abano.
Thank you very much. And wow, it's a difficult day to smile, isn't it? So I'm going to explain the process of the law, and I'm doing this after a long conversation with different kinds of lawyers, those who are in favor of the verdict and those who believe that the verdict has some distance to travel and therefore they will be able to go on appeal and shred it out. This is Justice Seremsai, about whom I have an editorial tonight. Seremsai has released a single. Did you know that? Justice Seremsai, the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General, he's released a single video. I'll show it to you. It's music, single. He himself, he doesn't know he's released it, but I know. I'm going to show it to you tonight. Don't worry. It's coming up after, when we take the break, it's coming up because we need to prepare it. So we just got the story. It's coming up. So that's Justice Seremsai. This is Henry Okun, whom we don't want to, we have to protect because we don't want people like me who love Wontumi to be coming after him. So we don't want to show his photograph. That's just being professional. We love Wontumi, but we don't want Henry Okun, who went to court and played a role, to be targeted. If you put his photograph here, you see him tomorrow morning, you're a Wontumi person, you probably will reach for a stone. We don't want that. So we don't say who. His name is Henry Okun, but we won't show you how he looks like. Okay. Oh, it's gone? Yeah, it's coming back. And this is our favorite Chairman Wontumi. Chairman, we love you, die, yeah? We love you, die. Justice will come, okay? Justice will come, Chairman. These are the three people I'm going to talk about. Okay, let me now start with the definition. So, we did it here before. It is the standard of proof. So we hear all the time lawyers talk about prove something. Can you prove it? Do you have proof? This is the way they spell it. P-R-O-O-F. It's not proof. P-R-O-V-E. No, it's this one. P-R-O-O-F. Proof. Okay. So do you have proof of what you are saying? Can you prove beyond reasonable doubt? So all of that is called the standard of proof. There are basically two standards of proof in law for two different processes. The civil process, which is me versus you, and the criminal process, which is the police versus me or the police versus you. Those two are different. So the standard of proof. What's a standard of proof? A standard of proof is, and this we are taking from Black's Law Dictionary, so you can all Google and check, isn't it? The standard of proof. A standard of proof is a degree or level of evidentiary requirement needed to convince the fact finder, which is a judge or a jury, to rule in favor of a party in a legal dispute. That is to say, the degree, please note the word, viewers, young people know the word, and student lawyers, the degree or the level of evidentiary requirement. So it's a standard. How much evidence must you have to convince the fact finder, which is a judge or a jury? A jury is a group of people. In Ghana, we don't do many jury trials. In America, they do a lot of jury trials. Jury is selecting a group of people, as they call it, the peers of the people being on trial, the peers. So they are trying a young man who is 17. They will have people who live in the community and all of that as the jury, so they can sort of feel it and ask them that based on what you have seen, is he wrong or is he right? The judge will still be there, direct the jury, and so you hear things like the judge misdirected the jury didn't answer the question, blah, blah, blah. That's for really American jurisprudence. Here in Ghana, we do some jury trials as well. Treason, some of the big ones that take people to firing squad, treason and all that is by jury. This Wontumi trial was not by jury. Most of our criminal processes are not by jury. They are by a single judge. So let's move on and say, the standard of proof in criminal law, in criminal procedure, or in a criminal trial is proof beyond reasonable doubt, which we all bandy about all the time. You hear it on radio. Hey, did he prove beyond reasonable doubt? Prove beyond reasonable doubt. It's not every case that has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. It's only criminal cases, and because that gets a bit political, then we say that everything is proved beyond reasonable doubt. No, if I've taken your land or you have taken my land, we don't need to prove it beyond reasonable doubt that you have taken my land or that I have taken your land. There's another standard of proof. I'll get there in a minute. So this is proof beyond reasonable doubt on all criminal matters. When the police and the Attorney General especially is prosecuting in a criminal matter, the learned Attorney General is expected to prove beyond reasonable doubts to the court. So when the Attorney General fails to prove beyond reasonable doubt, you will see in the judgment that his lordship will say that this court was not convinced beyond reasonable doubt that accused person has done so and so and so. In his testimony, PW1 said this, etc. The judge is just saying he hasn't been convinced. Proof beyond reasonable doubt means that the Attorney General people miss the threshold of 100% proof. So if you say Wontumi has done something, you should have been able to establish it 100% before the court is able to issue a conviction. This is almost mathematical, so lawyers can look at it. And that's why lawyers can look at a judgment and say that this judgment has a lot of holes, I can punch it, this judgment is that, or this judgment is that, or that judgment is the other. So this is how it works. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt is the highest standard of proof used in criminal trials. It means the prosecution, which is SREMSI, must present evidence so convincing that a rational, viewers, please let's take note of the words. They must show evidence so convincing that a rational, prudent person will not hesitate to rely and act upon it in their most important affairs. They must show, it's a higher standard, and it means that the prosecution must present evidence that is so convincing. So we get that. We can just move quickly to the other one, which is not important for tonight. It is a standard of proof for criminal. It says it is on the what they call the preponderance of probabilities. Yeah. So that's one. A preponderance, that means plenty of it. A preponderance means it is coming plenty. So preponderance of evidence is that I said I was at the traffic light. You said you were not at the traffic light. I said that at the time I was at the traffic light, it was green. You said you were not at the traffic light. But Amma saw you at the traffic light. Kofi saw you at the traffic light. AC saw you at the traffic light. And they all told you the traffic light is green so you can cross the road. And you said you were not at the traffic light. I say you are at the traffic light. That is preponderance of evidence. Plenty people seem to say that you were at the traffic light and the traffic light was green at the time. That's preponderance of evidence. It's not beyond reasonable doubt. In civil trial, that's not expected from the plaintiff, as they call it, and the other one is the prosecution. Okay, so a preponderance of evidence, also called preponderance of probabilities, is defined as the greater weight of evidence. It requires that the trier of fact believe that the existence of a fact is more probable than not. That's on the that is more probable. That's civil. The reason why we use beyond reasonable doubt in criminal matters is that the person, if he fails the trial, that is the accused person, if he fails, he's going to be incarcerated like Chairman Wontumi for 25, 10, 15, 30 years. Because somebody's freedom is going to be taken away, the justice system in its wisdom says that you can't take away somebody's freedom unless and until you have established the matter very, very solid. Now let's go back to the pictures and see whether this matter was established very, very solid. So let's have the photographs here. So this is Justice Side, the prosecutor. This is Henry Okun, who is Wontumi'S person. He works with Wontumi, and he became the star witness for the prosecution. Without Justice Henry Okun, the prosecution apparently did not find sufficient evidence. So they spoke to Henry Okun, as some lawyers have been criticizing the Dominic Aini regime, that most of the things they do is that when they find 5 people, they tell one person that, don't worry, we'll leave you, can you say it? And then they tell them to say certain things as people speculate. And sometimes if you put people in that kind of situation, the unfairness and the injustice arising out of that is that the person is being told that say A so that you will be free. The person knows that the prosecution wants to achieve a certain end. So he might not just say A, but he might add B, he might add C, he might add D. Now, in the specific case of this matter, this man, Henry Okun, says that the Akonta mining lease that Wontumi obtained legitimately way before Akufo-Addo became president, the Akonta mining lease that was obtained for the Saman Boy place, you know, there was a time that I used to chat with Wontumi, I call him Saman Boy, because he told me that he's gotten something in Saman Boy, but he doesn't even go there, blah, 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 conversations we used to have. So I call him Saman. I just like the name of the place. The Saman Boy, is that the correct pronunciation? Please correct me, those from Western region. Saman Boy place, he says that Wontumi gave him a license, as it were. You hold that there, I'll come to that. And Wontumi gave him a license to go and do galamsey there. So Henry Okun admits to the court that he, Henry Okun, performed the galamsey. And he performed the galamsey, which is illegal mining. He performed the galamsey because Enchibo Siaku told him to go and perform the galamsey and gave him his license. The relationship between the license from one person to the other in legal terms is called an assignment. Now, the law requires, it's trite, and the law requires it, that an assignment ought to be documented. So the Attorney General should have been getting from Henry Okun a document that says Wontumi has assigned this to you as a license. No such document existed. Do you give license by word of mouth? And that can be relied upon in a criminal prosecution? And Wontumi denied it, that he has not given him license to go and mine. He told him that he can go to his mine as Saman Boy and plant coconut trees because they were trying to reclaim the land and trying to do afforestation. The document suggests from the court that the coconut trees were actually planted. But Okun says that in addition to the coconut trees, Wontumi gave him a license to go and mine galamsey. Wontumi says, I didn't tell you to go and mine galamsey. So Henry Okun, who doesn't have a document to show that Wontumi assigned it to him, number one. In fact, that should have collapsed his case in any case, because the establishment of reasonable doubt has been completely overturned. If Henry Okun is not able to show a license document, you don't say that Fred Manso told me that he has leased his house to me in Abelempe. So I went to stay in his 4-bedroom house because he told me that he has leased it. There was no document of the lease. That should not stand in any criminal court. It shouldn't. So this guy, the other part of the matter is that this Henry Okun has actually admitted to performing galamsey. He performed galamsey, but he's free. Wontumi is not being charged for performing galamsey. He is being charged for illegally giving his license out to another by an assignment which does not exist on paper. My goodness, this is very interesting. Wontumi is being jailed for 20 years because it is said that he gave an assignment to Henry Okun for Henry Okun to go and perform galamsey. Henry Okun has admitted before the court that he performed galamsey. But tonight, Henry Okun, who performed galamsey and destroyed our water bodies and has admitted it, is free. And Wontumi is in jail for 20 years because the court has believed Henry Okun, and Wontumi says, I didn't give you anything. So Wontumi's word has not been taken, and that is where people are concerned about the threshold of whether this was established beyond reasonable doubt. This is the matter. Fair, simple, and square. This is the matter. Henry Okun is free. He has destroyed our water bodies. He has given our children kidney problems. He has given our food poison. He has given poison to the people of Samaboy. But because he was able to say that it was Chairman Wontumi who gave me the verbal license, Henry Okun is free. He is actually the criminal. But he is protected because he spoke against Chairman Wontumi, who is the owner of the license. This is the matter. This is all. This is the matter. And we are dealing with a situation that's a proof beyond reasonable doubt. Proof beyond reasonable doubt. Is that how to prove? Henry Okun has done galamsey. That's why we didn't want to put his photograph, because we're going to explain this, but I know some people are getting angry that the Henry Okun guy, where is he? Henry Okun is gone. Perhaps he's left the country. But he told the court that he, Henry Okun, not just him, he and his assignees, they performed galamsey as Saman boy. They have admitted to the crime. The offense that is killing children, the offense that is destroying our food, the offense that is destroying our environment, that we all talk about it. Minerals Commission has not said anything about it. Minerals Commission should be very angry. Kenneth Ashigbe should be angry with Henry Okun. But they are all happy that Wontumi is gone to jail for 20 years. Minerals Commission, Ghana Bar Association, Justice and Magistrates Organization. They have seen in Ghana where somebody has admitted to galamsey and he's walking free. And the person that he alleges told him to go and do galamsey is in jail for 20 years. That's the story. That is the story. 24 minutes past the hour of 10 o'clock. I want to cry, Seth. 24 minutes past the top of the hour, 10 o'clock. This is Ghana. 1992 Constitution, Ghana. This is Ghana. We have a constitution, 1992. Ghana. Yeah, I like that. Bring back that to me. Who are these here? Abanga and one of my greatest friends, Joseph Yamin. I like Yamin because he's very straightforward. I like straightforward people. Just tell me what it is. What you see is what you get. You know, blockbuster. You know, lock, stock, and barrel. I love Yamin. You know, he comes in with it heavy, lock, stock, and barrel. You get what you see is what you get. He's a Kumasi guy, is my man. Why am I putting their photographs here? I'd like you to watch Dominic Ayeni, the learned Attorney General, speaking about these two men. Have a listen.
Two people who are politically exposed to the Economic and Organized Crime Office for Investigation. These were the Honorable Yamin and Abanga, who is a third national vice chairman, one of the vice chairmen of our party. When we did the referral, it was upon intelligence that we got that was sent to both myself and the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources. But after we did, some petitions came from small-scale miners to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, then complicating the investigations. And so, as we speak, an investigative report is yet to be made to my office because those small-scale miners also brought their petitions that had allegations against the two persons who were referred.
This was a long time ago, viewers, up till today. Today, I saw Justice Sremsai put something on social media and said that investigations take time, and this is people against whom petition has been made that they are doing galamsey. And the Attorney General, here you are, Justice Sremsai says, investigations take time. Deputy Attorney General asked for patience in outcome of Iyoko's probe of NDC executives allegedly involved in galamsey. That was, this is 21st July today, and the press conference is long ago. Let me look at the statement of the press conference, and let's see what Dominic Ayini was telling us. Well, first, the press conference is dated 15th July 2025. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's more than a year. It's been more than 1 year. The Attorney General, Iyoko, BNI, and it's not NIB, it's Iyoko, BNI, CID, Lydia Donko, the CID policewoman, Attorney General's Department, the State's National Security. It's been 1 full year. They have not finished the investigation of Joseph Yamin and Abanga. Upon receiving petitions from very bold people, because you have to be bold to send a petition about an NDC high-profile person like that as a vice chairman of the party to the Attorney General. The Attorney General hosts a public press conference and says that because Ghanaians were worried that after the NPP have been voted out of government, galamsey is still going on. You told us that it's the NPP. Now the galamsey is still going on. Why can't you crack the whip? You can't crack the whip because it's your own party people. And those sentiments were growing. And because those sentiments were growing, the learned Attorney General could not do much but to tell the press that in fact those sentiments are correct. We have actually received petitions on Joseph Yamin and Abanga. But it's been 1 year. Deputy Attorney General is still asking for more time. This is the danger of what we are doing. Another Attorney General comes and within 2 weeks he'll finish the investigation and say that I've finished the investigation. I have evidence. He may not have evidence, but he is doing reprisals because of the way we are setting our political system. Afenyo Markin said something recently. He said that the reprisals have been happening. He will not say that MPP didn't do some, but can't we have an end to it? Can we have an end to it? Listen to what the Attorney General wrote to the Ghanaian public. It is on the letterhead of the Attorney General and is directed to the Executive Director of the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Iyoko, and it's as follows. He says, Dear Executive Director, directive to investigate allegations of illegal mining activities by named individuals. I write to direct your esteemed office to initiate investigations into suspected illegal mining activities being perpetrated by certain individuals within mining districts in the country. This directive is born out of growing public concern, corroborated by media reports and intelligence regarding the involvement of some citizens in unauthorized mining operations, generally called galamsey. They are in blatant contravention of the provisions of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended by Act 995. These activities not only flout our mining regulations, but also gravely endanger our water bodies, forest reserves, and local livelihoods. As your office is aware, HE President has consistently reiterated his government's firm commitment to eradicate illegal mining and restoring sanity to the natural resource governance regime in Ghana. In line with this national stance and pursuant to your mandate under Iyoko Act 2010, Act 804, I am directing your office to invite the following persons named in recent credible reports for interrogation, namely Mr. Yakubu Abanga and Mr. Joseph Yamin. Additionally, you are to investigate any other person found to be complicit in these unlawful mining activities. The scope of this investigation should include the matters highlighted in the Professor Frimpong Boateng's report on illegal mining. Furthermore, considering the regulatory oversight role of the Minerals Commission, you may invite the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission to assist in the investigation. I trust that Iyoko will treat this matter with the urgency. Viewers, listen, he said urgency and gravity that it deserves in order to uphold the rule of law and to ensure the integrity of our extractive governance framework. Yours in the service of the Republic, Dominic Ayeni, signed. 1 year, 12 calendar months. Iyoko, Minerals Commission. They have arrested Abu Trika and sent him to America. He's going to go to jail, I guess. I hope not. But he probably would end up in jail. In that period, they have arrested Kofi Boat. In that period, they took Shatawale's Lamborghini. In that period, they have arrested and arrested and arrested. In that period, they have arrested TikTok people. In that 1 year, they have arrested everybody. But they are yet to arrest the people about whom the Attorney General said is urgent. Joseph Yamin and Abanga, high-profile party officers. Is that what we should be doing? But Wontumi, who was not criticized of illegal mining, but it was said that he had asked somebody. Wontumi says, I didn't ask the person to do anything. All the cross-examination, re-examination, the examinations in chief in the court testified to the fact that Chairman Wontumi was adamant that he has not asked him to do anything. The guy says, Wontumi asked him. Wontumi says, I have not asked you to do anything. So it's Wontumi's word against his word. The court believed the guy. Is that beyond reasonable doubt? If one person says something, another person is challenging it. Where is the corroboration? And even if you have corroboration, is that 100% proof? And on top of that, the person who confers to the court that he actually performed the illegal activity described by the Attorney General in the letter to Iyoko as destroying our water bodies, and that the president is committed to this and committed to that, that person goes away free. And Wontumi goes to jail for 20 years. What shall we say to these things? If you read Romans 30 verse 31, I believe, it says, what shall we say to these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? If God be for us, who can be against us? I think this is very unfair. Really, really unfair. And I sincerely hope that the defense lawyers will put it together, and also hope that something will rise to the occasion. Something has to give and rise to the occasion. Not because of Wontumi, but because, as Alex Egbefia said, the only thing we have is the justice delivery system. Because the way you want it to be applied to you, you should apply it to the person. If Akufo-Addo had thought differently and demons had entered his head, Jachi Kwesi would be in prison today. And Wontumi would have gone to prison and see Jachi Kwesi over there. But democracy prevailed. Jachi Kwesi is a deputy foreign minister, passed by Parliament's Appointments Committee. Great news. Good news. How do we want to proceed? How shall we proceed?
Listo is here. Over my details now, and then we can dive into it. Listo.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
some people are saying it's good news. Some people are saying it's not good news.
Well, I think that the Obia want an opinion, right? And I respect everybody's opinion. But one thing is for sure. If you commit a crime, you're supposed to be ready to do the time.
Yeah.
That is the golden rule in life. If you don't want to do the time, don't commit the crime. That is it's as simple as that.
Yeah.
People they have compassion, and so when things like this happen, they put themselves in the shoes of the person. Not when the person committed the crime. Before the person committed crime, no. They put themselves in the shoes of the person after the punishment. You get it. Yes, Obia want a right to show compassion, to say whatever they want to say. Court one commodity be court them where you can't say new and common outside the court be but no, it doesn't negate the happening or court them. It's answer court them hono no eye wo na yabo okwadu no wo ho ene de obo okwadu no so de judge ne de ono te ho ena o tie de mu tu no mu ye de mu ka owi anu wakeka si animu no wa logical reasoning no wa hwe evidence wo ma test evidence no evidence ni bi wo cry wo threshold says evidence we will say to me then it to me do sa threshold wa ansana ya jatum ni nyina go through sa process ni nyina ansana watena se na wasa ko hwe mrane ya na ye hye ene kwan ye fa so hye ni se ye to aba e ma manfo ko gina ya nam tini ye from mrahye bedwafo no makombre mrahye bedwom no makwa ko hye mrano nti court ni hu se okay asem ya de o ko adubofo ne ka no no kra ne yakohwem se ye bo ko adu a punishment ne ye obi mbo na adwene mu judges ni mo ma adwene mu ma obi punishment
so omo references
mrano a ya jatum o ma na jatum no no ko hwe no maka se okay ne sa de ne wo ko si ye me gana what I say. So that is the issue. Now with Chairman Wontumi issue, starting in 2021, a whole lot of report, and Mayamo Erasmus Asar Donko, he's been consistently fighting this Galamsey fight throughout, and this time he's still fighting it. He's still putting names out. He's still exposing people Galamsey. Now, one thing ama Galamsey ababeye big issue ne say et say wo ye den wo poison nipa say ebia wo waduane si wo na ma den me de poison ababegum omo mo ye Galamsey activities ni nyina that is what they are doing I'm going to watch I say. So President Nana Dubai no and or the presidency here den etoso say he's ready
to fight
the menace because now proud to 2016 ye beto abano na Galamsey ni wo ho but na enye we dey make want to say enye too deep sir but still oye na nso be dey obe fight ti omo ba ye no oye so be fight no enye ma bia the NPP government did no and send the right signals like your ability to mine in forest reserves. What I say now something ane de no mkoye mra ne say we can authorize people to what
mine
to go and mine in a what forest reserves. So what I say your mama for be break I said you don't need to do that and all that is amra na me no ka say the new government in bad o my den o mayi afi okra o man pani bi ntumi mfa ne pe and mining license
and to mine in the forest
reserve. So yeah, one year DB akonta mining, and then nam from mom akonta mining. Ye Galamsey akonta mining ye ko hwehwem no na ye Chairman Wontumi company. Chese mo ye Galamsey a enya asem ketwa. Enti the videos, and I think we play the videos. Video a Erasmus Asarodonko ya or ched a kwanya akonta mining for fa so ye illegal mining.
Essay
forest. What I say, you be sure I'm a man for them. Enti asem ne ko like mo ena documentary ne ba no ena lawyer Martin Pebu ena engineer Ashigbe a petition the CID boss then Madam Tiwa ena omo petition the relevant state bodies near there. They make an what I say. And before that, now the lands minister or no also more authorization, concession be also more authorization. Your friend no Abujinapo. Eba Bekan say akonta mining is engaging in what? Illegal mining. Stating clear. So now acquires evidence wo ama even minister no wo na na do abam kura ba ba jiatu. Then okan September, January, okan September na petitions ni ko say o investigating no. January Muna Nanado Kokufodia Kokasa. Akonta mining is not engaging in any illegal mining in any part of this country. I'm building premise so that won't be a assembly free bar doing. I started.
You share that video of the then president, Akufo-Addo Akyea in same way.
Before I take my seat, let me respond briefly to the chairperson on the issue of illegal mining. I want to assure him and all of you that Akonta Mining is not engaged in any illegal mining anywhere in Ghana as we speak. Further, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources has, through the agency of the Forestry Commission, with the assistance of the military, made the effort to cordon off all 294 sites of forest reserves.
Welcome back. So that was Akufo-Addo.
Yes, that is our former president. Ono clear. Obi asem ne wo CID phone sem any the relevant state bodies in sem no. Private citizens for petition say investigated this company. The president of the land who appoints the CID boss, who appoints Yoko boss, who appoint all the bosses of Moda Ayewe, including the IGP. He came out to say, Akonta Mining is not engaging in any illegal way in any part of this country. So that is where now they need a FIBA. So Ebeba say, and it's idea was a buying sesa. Because buying sesa, then we will see say if indeed Chairman Wontumi way and away. So I buy sesa no, and I buy the a year then, Eddie can hear then a chin. Yoko Bekaya.
Yeah.
Eti Yoko for a Chairman Wontumi no. Obekaya after Yoko for na police force here day. And then now Obekaya parliamentarians in a court na
yeah.
Na edimba akubi be PM. Ye friend no Ekuoku. He was what? Chairman Wontumi confident. Na ono so ye chini bi. Na ye chini no. Omo ye free Wontumi no. Sa papa no. Obi anka se free him. Inti ona papa no ye na say ni obey den. Obe flippe.
Obe sell it out.
Obey den. Obe ye prosecution witness. In the case we know, my young charges now a year prosecutor no at the ball a year Chairman Wontumi. I will say it to me Abu Bosso and ma omu a year about 6 count. First count, assignment of mineral rights without ministerial approval. Count 4, purposely facilitating the contravention of the act. Count 3, third accused, assignment of mineral rights without ministerial approval. Count 6, A3, purposely facilitating the contravention of the act, illegal mining activity. Inti one say yes no day. What I say, any of the count no we are. Now the attendant say prosecutor na say ma work nyina say omo no court no omo say Chairman Wontumi edge concession. He or no dey go through the right process any man concession.
Yeah.
Ye ma concession na concession emrakese e down one ne say Wontumi nkoje concession na won transfer fa mame. Wontumi nkoje concession na won twabi mame.
Yeah.
Wontumi nkoje concession na on find any means bia say o dey ma any person bia.
Yeah.
Apart from one was say we yes we adwuma.
Yeah.
Don't do kululu bia with anybody.
Menko middle money mo bia nko jemfa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Say obey sa I will say we go through the right process. Now minister na ye den
signing.
Approve. Say ebia concession ya obaji ye. Ebia so too much into obi abase ono so be the ebe nti minister nhwe na on checking nipa no what I say go through EPA mineral commission for no any for even say forestry commission was some checking nipa ni bia say oyede it is the same as mimi process na mimi ko mu no it's the same process na also we dey okum but mimi to be from animu nkonkoje na me ba maka say ne ye nchei that is emrano eyeden ekasetia saade no.
Yeah, very clear on that.
So that is the prosecution then. Now some of the then or the court say adia Chairman Wontumi then now the burden is on what prosecution to prove say indeed Chairman Wontumi then.
Yes, I did.
Yes, I did. The concession be my third party. My third party in the mining activity. Also prosecution here the approve.
Yeah.
Now what monona nipa na or court Chairman Wontumi ho. I will say, oh, wasasi mami bino. That the third party in your friend Henry Okum.
Yes.
Henry Okum. Or no. And the court Chairman Wontumi no nini kudi sa nkomo. And the Chairman Wontumi here then. According to prosecution, Chairman Wontumi had ne pe. Then a track concession ni bi di ma Henry Okum. Emma Henry Okum here then. Mining activity then was. Na supervisor no were your friend AEC. He was supervising this mining activity on the Samuel Boy concession na Chairman Wontumi then j previously na why be dia mobi no. That is prosecution as Samuel then kind. And a Chairman Wontumi defense and said that be o me here then me too me go da me to awie no. And I me kofa obi say onye then on reclaiming land no because important say utu we are reclaim the land ube dua nua ene nyema ebema land na ide I recover it mean no make fast Henry Okum say ono meye say adwuma we
ono mbe dua coconut
o meye coconut
mine
ono reclaiming a land not to what
mine
to mine it say me maka say onye say no ade ne pe akọ mine a me be there ade na mo be bo me sobo. That is Chairman Wontumi defense.
Yes.
Now I was say defense for and I witness no. When we come say oh there be o. Me beji no. Man one farmer me say me fan enye me fan dua we o. Right? Na what the man me say me nye den me so me nye den. Me mining. And I me so me nye den. Me mining na sika ba. Ni use sika ni bi dia den. E dey reclaiming assassin no.
Okay.
That is the Nipano witness
na account. So it is here I am breaking it down. Chairman Wontumi say ono mine wie no.
Yes.
Okum no ana Henry no. Or the assassin man say
on reclaiming
by planting coconut.
Yes.
But Henry no enuma asem say one farm man say on reclaiming or no so mine.
Yeah.
Na onya ne die via.
Na scam. Proceeds of non mining no be no. Omo di bia de reclaim land.
Okay, so there was a reclaim, but the reclaim is after on what mining.
No, the videos now I want to say there was no reclaim whatsoever.
Yes,
until they will get there.
Okay,
right. So Henry Okum no, SRG to Musa Chairman Wontumi cross a lidino. And then they koto bulldozer. Now bulldozer, yade reclaiming land. What I say? Eti Henry Okum no so enuma semini. Eno mo kofa ayisi no. Ayisi ni so ye another key witness for the prosecution. Eno no so beji tu musa ampa ona no supervise Okum no dey mining activity. He was supervising it.
Yep.
It also about another person as about to say they were doing what mining, not what reclamation of the planting land. Then another person oba mineral commission for almost be jitu mu say oma anye den oma ama obia authorization bia whatsoever ena police for na omo ye de hu say akonta mining company ni ye illegal mining no omo boru akọ jiji nyama passion is anyama no eso be testify.
Okay,
na eno na prosecute defense no den and so far abrante ye friend Wisdom Gomashi.
Yeah.
Oni mining ho nyama pa but oye MPP ni. Oye expert.
Yeah.
Ena Chairman Wontumi ye de efa ne so no me ye ne expert witness. No me ye de on be kana anye de we. Ti ono ba na be kan say look, Okumune dika aka adia to say there was a verbal agreement, not written agreement.
Yeah.
But Emrano Mineral Commission Emrano say so we go through that process where I was say written.
Yeah.
Now so I was say prosecution prove say there was oral way. How are you going to prove oral
aside the two parties
and a verbal agreement?
Aside the two parties.
It will be the word of Henry Okum against Chairman Wontumi. Chairman Wontumi say on na agree say on come also. And Henry Okum say agree say me come also.
Without no paperwork.
No, there was nothing like paperwork bia.
God.
What I say. Okay. So prosecution Adjuman also prove say indeed
there was an agreement.
There was an agreement, but a verbal agreement. Yeah. Now Gomashini by no Wisdom Gomashini by no case there be. It cannot be Wontumi prove say. And I say, the course cannot be proven, say, indeed, Chairman Wontumi agree so Uncle
mining, and I say Uncle reclaim it and
Uncle mining, because say, oh, your concessioner, you need to go through a year and running this and money. So he was put under cross examination. Cross examination, but beer prosecution in the way. Gomashi and Chairman Wontumi say. Be say, is he aware say reclamation a very costly pa and I say and a very costly or reclaim land na ne board timpa and prosecution be say na ne board na Chairman Wontumi ama ni panis cast on fan reclaiming land now at the end no or expect say
then obey
Henry Okum then Henry Okum nye no fan reclaiming land Nache udia fujina ho.
Eka.
And was how bizan say, are you aware say reclamation? You need to go through
a process.
Documentation by going to Mineral Commission and EPA because don't say environmental idea. Yeah. So it was also then we go through formalization and now formal documentation before you can do reclamation.
So that they can monitor how you are even going about
exactly.
The process and your money now.
You say one away say jumadi and Wisdom Gomashiniga said, yes. And it was proven, say, Ora Henry Okum didn't go through formal documentation. So now Akwakusisu say, bulldozer na yako tutoye no. And he said, I was say, Uma miskana me di reclaiming no. Wa ama miskano. Now was say, me na was me year reclamation was say, oh say because wona adwuma die ne den e ho ne ye wo de ye.
Yeah.
Enti reclamation no. I was saying, I was just me my why am I miska? Documentation was me go through class, so man say the go through. So the defense said, man farm and said on fire mining, on fire way no, on fire reclamation has been shut down. That is where Chairman Wontumi Akyea den egu ho. E wana Chairman Wontumi den Akyea den egu ho. So what to say MP before can say judge ni use has circumstantial evidence. And a judge in use through this cross examination no more then who say any then the video evidence said this is what way. Now one thing is that the mrawe by no can we say now ubusa mrawe so now maximum 3 years.
Yeah.
Before MPP ba power.
Ever power. Ekufo mobile number change.
I shall one no no and bia no pay because now the maximum 3 years. Nti wakwa enche bia no why the waba. And the President Akufo-Addo yes there be. I was say chiwa emra no ye the any because it say why the woku nipa. O poison nipa we say why the woku nipa. And omo ye the omo say samra no dey free.
3
years to what?
15
minimum and 25 maximum. Let me know what I say. Inti judge no ehwe sa nyama we nyina. Wa ade amabo no tofai. Wa uti u analyze ya. Obeka se Chairman Wontumi obefa no hodi ana onfa no hodi.
Oh, a bit dense obefa no hodi, especially if you go on an agreement without signing. And niaminimu or courtroom ne say you need to show evidence. If you are not able to show those evidence, real quick.
You know, say, what the man is on reclamation. Now the burden will come on you, say. Then the NHS says,
Scaben out the man, no. At least I call money scabi cry. That one would be an evidence. Say, Mama no 100,000 Ghana cedis say, Fakoye say Jumano.
Yeah.
But one man is here. Then the mentality and also the information out there say, or no so mining or mining via.
It's kind of moving on the reclamation.
Yes.
So now the MPP, they are crying all over the place. And it's understandable. They need to show solidarity. But it is sending a bad signal out there. Say they are supporting what? Bad things. Right? Almost supported the bad things. Almost appeal. And it is in their right to do that. But they need to be what? Mindful.
I'm even shocked. Say some of the party members are saying say the sentence is too harsh. Because you know your country name start to stop galamsey.
Yeah.
And everybody in Penifoni Yomuti said they will fight against it.
Yeah.
So if something like this is out there, why do you want it? Why don't you want the person to go?
Yeah, because I believe it's a party bar. What I say, and certain benefits be or more be on free one and all that. So that is that. Chairman Wontumi issue. That is the way. But baby, I me wo issue. President Akufo-Addo. Say all this evidence. Chairman Wontumi ni akontamane a bad conversation. Amba wa NDC time.
About MPP time.
About another time. How do you see what? And you say be a more prosecuting impo. Would you fa when I see what? Na catch and say why you be a jai force and say on reclaiming land. No?
What if he didn't have evidence? It be information that was available to him. No, and these uncommon. What if he didn't have evidence, all of these
via the video evidence about Chelsea? This is the forest, a choir forest. No, nipa sumesi na aye forest. Evidence being now here because galamsey enye
something secret. Yeah.
You can see it clear. Now the case in Akatu. Tano numeri. And also sa tano numeri forest and so koseno. The Chairman Wontumi no oba ebe say we. Ye kwaya ye ja ye nananu mu ja to ye believe say ye nanamu na jimi ono nim nyansa
no piska
no ye de piska eno ye de koye iti me saadi we I'm blaming Nanado for being a bad leader. Our supervisors such such embarrassment and such a grave crime against Ghanaians. And one who say some boy na insu em for model because of galamsey unity. So any other. So that is the problem. Now
Mr. Also catch now say emre bi papa alanchira maten na wakasa achire kwanya Wontumi fa asu bewura MPP mu ana wo kire say wono na di Wontumi bewura MPP mu na ono so yenkotie ensam a wokafa Wontumi ho na yenhwe sede wokaye no ehun sunsaso ana abayi ana
akansa aba beto so say alanchira maten before the 2023 presidential we no omo elections no o kasemi for Chairman Wontumi.
Yeah.
It appears it was a case. O man, a strong warning say onye careful.
There's a video to that. Yeah, Shembra.
Auntie Anna Metise or ye campaign gezi me cancel my kase and I know you say yeah. Many problem yeah, but you too no for pa because be your papa Kaidebi. So I say if it's a woman out here and then Wontumi and what yet did you a no. So we'll be done as ya and answer Martin and so done as me and my son is at the bar party. Now who is Wontumi? Tell Wontumi me and I'm in the bar party. Now I've been punting up in the bar party. Or a businessman, small time businessman. 2005. They cook Kumasi. I don't know who make a chair. No one will any say. But I saw almost for too long. Until I make a son. asoso mo so ache na ye kan party asewa na Wontumi nja no ono e be dictate Ubisa mitina meka sa. And what
statements in a public statement.
The Messiah Kasa. Or one they are approaching me say, on 1 year sent Kobe politics were Canada. Then one more share the way I may politics no. Enemy sema meka, any minister are dear who dia. Say I am passing me say meko a contest for MPP Sadia. Obedi mechi. Na first na me ji se bia aso di agro afa mi du kwase no aba onu afrem no aye na muza o ye serious me so sa time re the same thing me you na me pe I say mrantia wo mu work courage ni ade no me hu so yeso me na me so no nsa e de no call be mi bisa to constituency bo some constituency but say one no free me saw in sa me ka say yanya the chairman that time na me dra me na so party no he became chairman yeah the chairman what was so che Wontumi edi machi no o chan ayi we ka say chief ayi campaigner me ka abona baso say we are smart in who say Alan and they bet me a guiding into politics. But a chair the no more and they're so fair pa. And so fair na dachi se obi bua mo nya baby sia me yen abro. Tell what him say. After obey you know. Obedi chairman so na musa o keka no ho. Mia na me son nsa. Esa de ne ma chairman for no say yen the regional chairman. Ask him me yen regional chairman. Na afe wanya edi esi awia na afe aya se afe de nkwani ayi nipa ukasa eso bia anti ana metise wo ye campaign against me kansema kase na ara no ye say ya me problem dia but you too no pa because be your papa kai debi so ti ase if it's a woman, now a person will support you, there's no problem. But say we open campaign against me. I said, problem is But so we are regional chairman, should you do that? We are regional chairman, and I said, so you're supposed to be fair, and I'm a one. I wouldn't why a cheerleader and I would do and I would kick us, but I don't put the infant to jail.
Welcome back. I say, future no.
Yes. Kachin say one day. When you're careful, and then now day, 20 years. We are hoping, sir, on may make sure so be 20 years na. Obe banana what they say.
By this time, we didn't.
20 years old, they can't age one.
Now me design.
Oh, no, they saw only 50s. To over no 70. No crap, ma.
Oh, but now me no, my grandpa.
Me over banana. I got 3 years now. Me co pension. Over banana.
I got 3 years now. Co pension.
Yes.
Listen, on yakola.
Over banana. Not 3 years now. Me co pension.
Okay.
What I say? Eti. Was so them serve as deterrent.
Yeah.
Medical be catch you say Ghana for should be supporting this things. Law a judge no Nyankopon hira no ntunu kwanem. Nyankopon ye ne kese. Nyankopon ye de hira ne papa. You see ono so na ete oti 2 different cases so.
Yeah.
Ti judge no o make sure because politicians were now from where they are do.
And it shouldn't just be say they are going after MPP for.
There be
Obi NDC, the person is involved there.
If say MPP, NDC for so, started some more nyama mu diponi di tia. Send ye to about the tia. Ure fi say ya to about your mutu ni nyina pen na. Enti ye den one NDC ni omo person obi NDC mo obedada na ho say on bet transfer I forever. Ya pom ya ma corruption be early din yen before ya pom din. Again, Mr. Kapum din ya can first, with education ya second. What I say? But the third economy, unemployment, and what? Corruption. Yeah, health crime, yeah, the tone chain. It's Ghana for Kotu Abase, Bibi Bonnie Kotu Akufado Mrem, Emreso, Iti Mwabano Munye de Munye Jumano. And I'm very happy. Say Jumani, yeah, now sanity bus system nim. I'm on for bedem papa. Yes, go for mobile, but some in my catcher. A CMPP for mobile quaco demono, Miracles Abuaji, Nidia, yes, Justin Kodia, and so dear. Former Minister of Youth and Sports, or no sooner dear then, Anna, Omo Yeden, Omo Kekahum, give to a warrior moon now, almost almost dear then, we are hoping, sir, it will go down. We are in PDS. President Mahama promising and say PDS. All right, we no 10 so ebi mo say all right, a scam. All right, book no a 10 what is say corruption e woman no me kra me tro bi de koy African Games no.
All African Games correction call.
No want almost bet $300 million. $300 million. I'm telling you. Me na me catch you.
All African Games on your.
Me na me catch you. Now yes, already forensic audit na. You know say amount for be buy be here then. Ebe boy chrono. It's Ghana for mummy here then. Mummy and support it. Na do amamu obebu ye dire. On ne gang ne ba o ma juto mba be hwe o ma nti na ne wofasi o se ne cousin no adwane akwakwota America no. Ni wofasi o se ne cousin Samuel Atta adwane because onim no onim de na yede eba nti se ono na ye nya na o ma kamu no ye be make sure say buffer stock man no say ono so na asem ye de ye make sure say obia be kwakoda ne bi hu obia be kwakoda because ankofo we omo wia ye dachi omo wi o meka cho say o papa mo ono ne ba be ka cho say o papa mo bra miwa yen yisika na wo sa komo chairman kasun obi aso no and omo ye de omo wia eti don't feel sympathy for any criminal politician. Politician bia what to say ye investigate because tie omo nanado appointment or ye na more than 5,000 appointment.
Yeah.
Omo di ababa bonte say bibi isika form nsase no omo ndu 100 po.
Yeah.
Enti 500 appointees no e chese omo be den omo be som oman ne som ni ye.
Yeah.
Obi ankodi omachi obi ankochi omo. Enti me ko yese na MPP for no mu chichien e na we no mo chichien na we omo chi eye omo ba e be hwia wo no ene obi wo ho no ma oba e once di kwa wa ma oda. Enti don't feel sympathy for anybody. Hey yoku for no. There is no way mo kwakochi obi a enipa kro ndi bone.
Yeah.
There is no way. So omo kwakochi obi a nipa kro ne de ondi bone. President Mahama a whole former president, he was investigated and cleared.
Yeah.
Omo investigating no. Enti who is any appointee? Eti nanado amamu ne de ye nyina nim de si ye. Oba se obi anye de enwia. Ono na amamu no oba ye no oba se na appointees no. Wow, ye den
Wow kukudro.
Wow kukudro no wia. Na ana manfo so ye den ewi obi otumi ba ya wanye reshuffle ba kokra. Me hu bi da. A president betra so one reshuffle ba ku sepo wanye. O allow man amanfo ne appointees wia o man we bo man we krono. Ye to me ye den sky train ye say the sky train ba na 2 million pium. Now Sputnik V. Okay, I said minister because parliament because say he was not thinking right when he signed.
Yeah.
If you COVID do yare ba ye so no amanfo bi di wia ye. Eti COVID sika Sputnik V ni nyina ye twen.
It's
na ye twen.
And I like the way it is going.
Yes, and I said fast.
When you say that don't data make us I like it no. And this for Fanya MPP for no.
I hate to make us we don't care. Say a Dania.
No obisu di abayini sika.
Global Info Analytics for ebe ye po ye be hu adikrotia ye den. Ye de to aba. Say Ghana every Ghanaian is sensible.
Very sensible.
very sensible. Ghanaians can behave damp.
But they are never dumb.
It's America's abuaji koshia you for no get to for now. No, oh yes, at our sign to say, oh, be able to say, oniomo, oniomo na tun said di. Yes, I am my man. Mema and Nadano, Omo, no money nyansa sen or no jina on a bam because they have nothing, but they are surviving the system. Do you know what it takes for somebody to not to kill himself, but to survive a crooked system like that? Just a nipa na yeden intelligent. I'm out from comment section here the imra.
Yeah.
No munya day. Omunchire how they are failing towards a Chairman Wontumi. Me dear me say me who politician ni bio ye criminal bia me hu ne mobo. Me hu mobo da. Me da chi me sika no na abedi wo a wo ye den. Wo didi a kire me no. Ti ade ntina wo say me hu mobo. Ti wo kokko chirim full 20 years. Obeba no na me wo 57 years.
Judge bi eni wa woda na obo wetua. I say, "Hey, wo me 25 years." No. We can never fight Galamsey. No. Okuwe, Yakubu forget. Me, near me who ye no. And Yakubu, no cranny, you see, yen jai, bibia de yamanyosem.
Oh yeah.
You may have your differences.
Yeah.
And no dear, you are a politician. You may have your differences, but the fact that you didn't be do court. They provide evidence, no.
Yeah.
Me ni say oye innocent. Per the evidence adduced, or no atina na dekem ebo nyinkuro frefra dance for no. Tujidi pa say na dance ni nyina court hu say oye innocent. Court beka say oye Chairman Wontumi na oyi go do what TV so. Enti no. Chenchina cha sentence so. No. Chairman Wontumi so kwa appeal. Na ye say ane. Ye beto so amane kura. Yentimi ma Chairman Wontumi 10 years. Yentimi man 5 years. Yentimi man 14 years. So court of appeal. Now appeals court say, Anne, maybe the judge erred. Maybe there was an error on the face of any of the documents. Inti ye kwashe na anase ye reduce sentence na. Court of appeal. And I appeals court to really cost crowd begina wa 15 years.
Who say a na agrada de no. Ekobane say even 15 years to say and a court court appeal near yi. We are no 8 months. Say 1 year so crowd. We name Kobane say intimacy sir.
Yagubu.
Obse be makwaba aba Kofi TV na midin ya de Mubarak ya Kubu. Ene ye won sem ba ku bi a wosi ye di hunkomo kakra efa eye Chairman Wontumi so wanya nte se ya sentence Chairman Wontumi na asem no mejima dizi bebre na nti shadanti asem na se ba kwekwan ye hwe obi a wadi asem na chi akyeye pa no ye ne ntwetwe nkomo no nkyere asem no efrihi ene kokopie ba bia ne dai Chairman Wontumi akwakodai ye ne ama brako ampofo e ba betwetwe nkomo obi a wadi koto asem ye chiache papa from ahyase ni nyina no na ama edi akire na court hema so de ba court mu nsem court nsem bia ni ho a obeka se obebisa ama onya emfama wo eno nti ne beko na ye ne ama akwatwetwe nkomo na waboy asem ni chire mu ahyase no se sifa ko ba ya ne ba bia ndeda yi no ne ekowura mu a ema Chairman Wontumi ndeda yi oko prison ama ema kwa ba
Measure so
asa wabre pa
abre
ene de matwe hu yes na wo dunkwa no mu ko chinchin wo ha
ebedu ya na we nso da ho nti say e ka mienu ni nyina
ene sa twen ache obre pa
ono aso nim say ene e bra Kofi birthday nti we special birthday me dem bra Kofi de bra Kofi pa say dem bra say me ti we nyina enye
ene fra say am chase wa fra say ene de be yire because station we twu we so twu
baby because as at anopa no you can't say you're convicted now everywhere was like you're convicted Chairman Wontumi. And the moment you say you're convicted, the next thing was the sentence. And then train.
I see. When you wabredi my uncle straight na I monitor to. Chairman Wontumi case no. Ahyase no ba na say ba asem na asem mepot ansa na ba ne court ne sentence no asem mepot na de Chairman Wontumi court.
Okay, Yakubu medawase na machi TF na TF nso mfa nche se ati se yaboko kakra yintimi mfa court nkomo na court nsem embrel but se de yate asikwan nim na yesiesie ne makakra bi wachi ho mejidi se ne brand ne brand no se de na first me ne anesthesia o court na ye bremo cases update no mejidi se no going forward no mo beti hu na question I will be saying Chairman Wontumi. Chairman Wontumi case the first appearance at High Court was 7th October 2025.
Okay.
Engineer say Oshe efi October ABC July about 10 months and now say roughly 10 months.
Okay.
Bronya na yen shada breaki bebre sa but yeah, because of obi ekodi Christmas in 25th 24th what no dey na court in shada but make us way one of the fastest case yako Chairman Wontumi yede no ebaaye no na enye ono nko a Bernard Entwibo Siako aka Chairman Wontumi Dr. Sumienu Kwame Entwi a beto sese mmere Kwame Entwi enim baby onam.
Wow.
Nti ohwe judgment a court ne man na Kwame Entwi di no ye de at large ahye ho ache say enim baby onam ye hu no. Na Otosumiensa Konta Mining Company Limited, which is a business entity and I say Becca say company. Now say it's a company de ne court. Nti na company nti meka se enipa mienu abaako adwane na company na kwadu a ye de ball de edika ye beka se count 1 assignment of mineral rights without approval eno no ohwe section 14(1) na section 92(2)(b 99(2)(b into section 14(1) na section 99(2)(b ni nyina Minerals and Mining Act 2006 inti samara we meka ye esu bi ne yegina ya ye de Aisha wan koye.
Okay.
Inti na Aisha wan sentence no na ye ketoa na nye 15 within 15 and 25 years.
Okay.
Samara we ene ya sakra ni.
Okay.
Inti ye amende. Inti sakra na ye brofo kase mo court kase ye say amended. Inti ya amended ye no ya amended by section 3 of the Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019. Ti samra we na ye mrada da ho from 2006. Na so bi kotu former gudi a ye nyina ye hu dede sa se ye nya na enfie ne kakra bi na ye de man 5 years na ya fine no kakra bi but ye tena se ne 2006 na gala no eni soro sa ti yansesani ti 2019 eni yesesani ena ya benya act 995 enti ano ye first kwadu aye de ball no na ye kire say Chairman Wontumi over 49 years oye entrepreneur yesi ono 2024 was Samurai boy eno watoye mantem ehye court we yase oye owner na ono na san ye director wa Konta Mining Company wa nkwoje concession na owo no license na onkura bi na permit kra nso aye de ma no wan tworo krata nkomo panin bia eno aso de permit no ma owura bia ye friend Henry Okum na Michael Jedu ayisi eso omunkoye mining wa saase a ono no koje ya yen grante no to me kra count 2 enso ye the same assignment of mineral rights without approval I no so hwe ye mra na section 14(1) and section 99(2)(b no so ya amend said ye medi kan chire mu na eno so ye che say Kwame Entwi a wadwane a ye hwe na ye hunu ono so no ye adwuma wo Samurai boy 2024 atoye mantem ye se ye court yase ono so ya ama no to me bia eno de sa concession no ma Henry Okum na Michael Jedu so mkoye adwuma kwadu Otosumiensa eno so ya assignment of mineral rights krona bi eno so particulars of offense no so kyerɛ sɛ Akonta mining company no yes 2024 Saman boy no watoye mantem hye court n'ase ye incorporate ye na dwuma ne sɛ or engage in mining exploration deed without first okostati adwuma no ana oni to me krata
okay
na eno kreachin or sign the permit command Henry Okum ena Michael Jedu se omo mine wasase a wa mukura woni to me krata
okay
na eto so enan eye eno so ye chese or facilitate unlicensed mining operation and also section 99(2)(b eno eye act 2006 eno so ya amend no eno so sa eno de eye Bernard Ntwibo Osiako alias Wontumi 49 years or entrepreneur 2024 was sama boy a eno watoye mantem hye court yase ono anaye owner or toto niema se director wa Akonta Mining Limited yes of facilitate ye ese Owura Henry Okum ene Michael Jedu ebra ono only license every minister ho only license every minister ho ena ode concession no ekoma enkrofo ena no ankasa etubi count 5 and also ye facilitating an unlicensed mining operation and also said the amended act 2006 at 703 no sa pepepe Kwame Yantwi a wadwane a beto sese mre yen kan na asem ye hu no ono nso kro na yesi ono nso Akonta Mining or ye owner and director e wa Akonta Mining na ono no Akonta Mining no ono nso de eho ekoma Henry Okum ene Michael Jedu the last count e count 6 no eno so ye purposely facilitating an unlicensed Minerals and Mining Act no ono so mo operate without license. Akonta Mining Company ti nipa mienso won say de ye charge wa ye hyehye no nti Yakubu ye say ama ye say nti Yakubu kwa adunie ama kwa adunie Ernest kwa adunie Brakofi kwa adunie ye chiche obi ya no obi ahu ne level
okay
nti court e kan na say wien na say so ma ye hu obi be ka say particulars of offense ti particulars no e na be me hu so oh okay nti Yakubu kwadu aye de bo no miensa ama kwadu aye de bo no mienu no say we na ama ye say e na Yakubu ye court ni nya abre ene adaje e chire enimu nyina na baby kakra bi e na meka a che say court ne chire say ebra wo mu kodru ho no ene madodo na e na yesesa edi efiri ho a na enye eniema ketwa na sa eniema na wo mo sesae no na bi eye 4 machete nkrante pa mako enan wo munya ebi yebeka say pieces of metals bi no mususu say eye gold ana omaye adwuma enya sa abre no omunya water pumping machines ewo ho wo munya etu aboba 310 AA/BB cartilages eye etu aboba horo omunya bi wo omunya 1 grease gun omunya motorcycles enan wo ho omunya car mienu omunya excavators there ose bebire buburuja ena omunya enan a na eno de enya adwuma omusan enya sika 157,000 Ghana cedis ewo nwura nim
wow
enwura mu ho ene esi obi bank dwetri
wow
na police say omototo Michael Jedu ayisi ano ono so kire say ebo aha me bai de yesoma me yesomafo ena me bai ti yetetoto o mano a attorney general asoye efre adansefo maako enan entu bisade ya meka say Yakubu Chairman Wontumi case ni fi ase 7th October 2025 eni baby he ba betwi
all right nti before I to aso no sa Kwame Yantwi no yenim say police for eba no say obi baby bi kura ni enim bia nipa no wo no onya ye social media na say on telephone number de yibeti ma che no eba ne say na be sin de police for ntimi nche Kwame Yantwi no
Yakubu
o my attempt bi
enu momu de minti menche say o my attempt because we beka say we wanted the big fish and we have the big fish Wontumi Kwame Yantwi no wan enim Kwame Yantwi me nyini say me nim Kwame Yantwi and I mean him say we Yakubu nim Kwame Yantwi but you can't Wontumi a Ghana man yosemite ni Wontumi.
Was it politically targeted, say, or more targeted, say, Bia, if say, Kwame Wontumi, Kwame Antwi, honestly, or Kangalamsi for, or like, honestly, or
director, Akonta Mining Company Limited.
Also, can be na a course. MPP before so your press conference, politically, you say, targeted Wontumi, some betchano. So, we know, is it say, Wontumi, target, say, betchana, and I say, I don't know how, because we'll be so what guys here, Chenekau.
Yakubu, medase, but you see, me when it comes to court, me catch or say, let's put politics aside.
Okay.
No, when you NDC, when you MPP, I speak as a court reporter.
Yeah.
Me lawyer ni, me prosecutor, me judge.
Okay.
I am a student journalist and a court reporter. Yakubu, galamse, ye nyina ye nim.
Okay.
Or hawa edebrayin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even they say a community mining na ya license in the crown. Look at our environment. And they yensu say, yensa say, yen foodie say, and they are quine. Many meaning bano, manti bi da say, Lord quine a cave in that.
Yeah.
Manti bi da say, yes say, Kaswa quine, Central Region quine, Asimbreku quine, Asante Mantem insuo, Atwama, Lord quine. Ebuagum. But what is cotton? Me de make us in ye course ye galamsey. Either say ye licensing and I say ye licensing. No cranny say affect yen. No matter who you are. And see the issue of say ye targeting no.
Okay.
There were evidence before the court. Wontumi was given the opportunity to sit in the docket.
Okay.
I will court to them. Okay. And yes, a case, you know, you start saying ne. And yes, you want to me back out and plead guilty. No.
Okay.
Where a full track case.
Okay.
Or quite so cofa lawyer be our pay. And or cofa lawyer be our pay. At the neighbor court, your money bill, omiti bill conditions, you know, no fifie and neighbor. Or a lawyer of his own choice.
Yeah.
Even at the latter point, the crown pona, or say, me lawyer treme hono. He was able to afford a different lawyer. So it is neither here NDC or NPP. And me say, Chairman Wontumi bejina court to them da korpo. Emma Justice her ladyship Audrey. Eka say, Chairman Wontumi for party card bra. No, it's never happened in courtroom. Yeah, me send a lawyer say, oh yeah NPP lawyer na so yeah NPP lawyer da. No. So mesre yemfa manyosem nto baby.
Yeah.
Court dem de eyemra na yekokan. And judge, you know, there is nowhere me tena court dem hobia. At a point, me who say judge ne ka say, sa Chairman Wontumi no ni. No, it's never happened. Enti minim say per ne pedigree and then a status or war and as NPP Asante Mantem regional chairman there. Definitely, I am not surprised. Say NPP will rally behind him and fight. But media, as a court reporter and as a personal, make the case in Nechino. Yakubu, and your politics.
Okay. No. A dear na case in moi. Yetimu say, dear na uro might make a judge and said by this time there was a Chairman to be 20 years. A dear na uro mu party na come say. Judge and say when Tim Kuchasa 20 years in your own view, dear who said to me,
Yakubu, in my own view, Mecca say the prosecution did a yeoman's work. You see, Ghana, in our criminal jurisprudence, the burden lies on who Yakubu now say, I'm a real phone. Me say me for phone. Yakubu nso say, I'm a ra demo henti, I'm a phone. Me the any say minya benku ne tilapia ne me di na mada. Go and prove to court say o kan say me real phone no e bia na CCTV bi bo ho e che me. Me I don't even know. And I say na wa ma Ernest atetokoro mu ha nti me real mu no Ernest hu me.
Okay.
Enye wano na o de kan say me real phone no ano no. E na enye me nso ma no na me de kan say enye me na me fa no ano. As I say, we prove your case. Neto court na sum otemuafo no. Eto na sum no ye convinced the kase.
Ade we die.
Asema Yakubu kan die. Debi. Me de nkrata no toto ho na me de sisi ani video de ba ye video ekura me hu ama wom me hu so bi wura dem ho empaboa no kura no ye bisa ama se sampaboa no hu wo video ni mu no oni sampaboa ni bi ye wi a wo be kan wo de wadanse aba me na wo de kwa adu ni bo me no me nso me ba betina adaka mu abebo mi nkuro me wadansefo a me nso me frɛ de waba so me de I will say the prosecution did their work, though the defense counsel also did their work. No, near the talk court na sum, a talk court na come so, can near Messi any, a share said the Emirane cano. The prosecution, and you can never say, Adentina, one J Chairman Wontumi the antum, no J prosecution in the tomb. I sent to call yet day about kubidim kunim. But this nkunim die no eye mmara mu nkunim die ne eye pure mmara ene ye ka
when politics bi ase bi and this for me say omo be chicha ma Wontumi akokotu when
no Yakubu ma this is the judgment of the court. Court no prosecution e attorney general so e efre nipa mako enan.
Okay.
Ni odi kan eye Michael Jedu ayisi. Okay. The same Michael Jedu ayisi we no ye director e wa contact mining. Okay. Ye che no eno no abeka say de aye ndie media dance. Inti imagine say me ne umienu eye adwuma e wo Kofi TV.
Yeah.
Na ye koba na sebe manu susume na so bra Kofi anya asem ne right hand man pa na Yakubu ne ya che bra Kofi ne Yakubu ade be che ne Yakubu say bra Kofi na mohwe no bra Kofi nso de minim sa de no onim mo pa munyai me na me media dance entia bra Kofi.
Okay.
Wona na ya dwuma che wonim ni in and out everywhere.
Yeah.
Into definitely na wo be kan bia no insu.
Yeah.
Michael Jedu ayisi. Henry Okum one person so awo no ya kwoto no wo ho a na oye adwuma. Eno no. Chief Inspector Safo Asiedu Kwasi ena Yusuf Iroko. Enyo no nko omu wieye no. Videos ayede baaye, pictures ayede baaye kire said de ne ya sai asase no ye funtum asase nani eni ama ni nyina edi adanse bibia edi adanse Chairman Wontumi lawyers e file the friend submission of no case.
Okay.
Submission of no case after say prosecution no ebo wo munkuro wieye frefra adansefo ma adansefo ba nan nyina ba be kan o masem ewieye no afi Chairman Wontumi lawyer for say o mo hwade ni dia prosecution entimi anka sembia o mususu say ehu hia sa Chairman Wontumi kra open in defense enti court hwe na ja ye kwan ma yenko set you free na yenko na we nim de say kenken kwa mbe ye dedi keke wa be say court nim na court say there bi adanse a metie efi nkrofo a betena ha enum na wa lawyer for atoto Chairman Wontumi wo wa no yi bra na be yi wa no wo yi wa no wi a na won so no wo wa dance for our free ampa Chairman Wontumi na nkasa tena adakam
yeah
ebo ni nkuro ni wonim fa saasase ne ho se ye man license so se ya man license so no no de ma Henry Okum ene Michael isi ye bo ana se bo aten na ni nyina obekan o wie ye no ti adanse fo a ofre wom ne first odanse ni a Chairman Wontumi frɛ no eye wisdom edem gomashi.
Okay.
Ofre ononyanfo George Mreku Duka.
Oho.
George Mreku Duka ba court be di adanse ma Chairman Wontumi.
Okay.
Enu achi ofre Kwabena Ochere Daako Mensa MP.
Okay. Ewenfa.
Atoye mantem ho.
Okay.
Ofre no mane bae.
Okay.
The otoso nine eye Honorable Evans Ade. I learned say no assembly member.
Okay.
Ono so frɛ no mane bae.
Omo buy support of Chairman Wontumi.
Chairman Wontumi adanse for no.
Okay.
Nti ono be kan na asem wie a friend evidence in chief. Na ye cross examination wie ye no. O wie ye no. Ena ɔsɛ me wa dance for court is ani frɛ wa dance for ne bra and no fresh I dance for we so you were given ample time and facility who wa dance for court nsi wo so wa dance for 1,100,000 kura court be kasa fa wo bra ɔfrɛ wo mu nyina bai obi anso be kan ne wonim e de fa asɛm ne ho enti anya sɛ ɛyɛ nɛ ɛne nra ɛne ɔkyena ɛne starting here ɛna anya sɛ Chairman Wontumi kodu ya no plead guilty no this is a full trial ye wie ye kura no court ka say mon file mo addresses enti mo addresses no enyina eka ho bi so basically that is it
yenye ante se eduru ba bi no Chairman Wontumi lawyer bi se ontimi nto case ne so biom ede ne ba ye no te
lawyer ndi apia kubi ena na ye Chairman Wontumi a lawyer
okay
na edu baby no a na chokrata aba abonten be kan say ohwe se de asem ne kona enye ne de say obedi Chairman Wontumi achia na say ase ne me bi ntwaye ni ade a but he is a lawyer
okay
he know his client Chairman Wontumi ena the various processes of filing no onim what goes on okokot no ya argument any argument ebi wo judge ne say approach the bench no ma approach any a lawyer for or no ne deputy attorney general no ma ko butu na hwehwehwe omo pa no ma be ka kire ye tie kire o ma nka kire ye nkomo mgodi ye emfa ye
approach the bench near that there
nti judge ne te wo betimi aka say lawyer and defense and I said defense team and attorney general approach the bench the bench ne ye mu ko hu judge no ye nyina ye te ho na ma ko hu judge no na ne nkomo no obi ka say asomusem and I say on be ko in chambers no ma ko ka o ma sem o mo pie ba o mo pa e no be ka kire say ni e ko susu o ma nka nche ya eno de ye mogu etwam
okay
yen kan wasem enti ono a ene de krata ba say onye ne lawyer bi enti okobo court na mani ampa o de krata akoye kobo court na court say papa na Wontumi be fa na me na mjina me hu na mjina nifa on som Wontumi bi ma na say on serve Wontumi bi ma ka kire na me abe ka kire me de e fa me ho ben and a honey there as a student journalist I was a little bit surprised.
Okay.
Because Ukokache court to say unrepresentable client in BMA. I did not get it. Me na mafa Yakubu say me lawyer. Enti say Yakubu adwuma ye kora anso mani. Na me say me pamo Yakubu a. I don't need to go and tell the court.
Oh, sir.
No. The here say write the letter, send it to court. Asa.
But one kasa de win yasa baba.
No.
Okay.
And I say, what your letter na the comma court in area? O client no waka chen say papa. Me no nanti biem. Nti odo ka bia watua. Go for another lawyer. Nti ono no be court. Na lawyer judge bisa. Where is your lawyer? I say my lady, my lawyer left me, so maybe I'm now trying to get a lawyer. Court na be catch okay. Then let me give you time to get a lawyer. And I say, okay, from this day to this day, try to get a new lawyer. When your lawyer, maybe asem no, metwaso. It is good to go. But lawyer be also in a strategy.
Okay.
I would say lawyer Atta Akyea could be a lawyer penny.
Yeah.
One of the seasoned and the greatest lawyers. Me my friend baby, me who say, ni dia necessary the ma court no, and not the ma court no.
So babe or
address the courts and say
okay.
Oba penny out dream. Me na me di na nim de ne buy from day one.
Yeah.
Ma who say me na me represent no. But because of A, B, C ntino, me twe me ho. Me at one different breath no, na me hu ni say e yo bu a obu court no nti no ye no. But Rebecca say a lawyer for nketo na bande. Obeji na chire ho asere aka say na lawyer we pa. Obi abefa na so representing ni bi ma. Okobo court amane akoka check court say me represent na court na fa na ho ben.
Na lawyer no hu say Chairman Wontumi lose case ni na oja mu ntem sana na say because wache system no. Nti onu hu say ba bia case yi ko ide senior ma be lose case no.
Obi ane ne lenses a wode hwe cases e court.
Okay.
And he being a lawyer and a senior lawyer as such no. Mint na hanka say from afar say Chairman Wontumi be win case. Yakubu ma menka no kwenche o say Chairman Wontumi case no, it was one of the dicey cases I'm at in court. At a point, ultimate proceedings na beka say ah we dey say Chairman Wontumi. I say case in nam ha no so nam ha. And the same case no that ultimate court wo na utie adanse ni bia ye di na so abeka say we dey Chairman Wontumi okwa no. So
Dane.
Okay. Because say ye frɛ attorney general dancing ya na sa ban na dancing ni so metena say obeka asɛm ne de a obeka say Chairman Wontumi pant ni ye de na say ne ye do kɔ ensanwa ma no but ye owie ni ye cross examination na afi questions ni bia ye bi say no aka say anya kwa we nso na not adaka mi o ka say Chairman Wontumi ye say Chairman Wontumi na afi what I say na say case dey na Chairman Wontumi will be a free man. So yeah, ye di case nation at one breath obetimi ye pie ni edi nkwa baka say I say case dey I say Chairman Wontumi and number bi no so number bi o. But the following week no ebesaba bi no dancing ni fufro beba and I say the same dancing ni kra no and same ni bi oba be yi egu won I say hey they really Chairman Wontumi I know you. But you see the fight against Galamsey and Kasa to say Judge Bia is vigilant about it. We a foreigner, cranny a chewa. We the bill cry ma obi da.
Wow.
Yes. We a foreigner, ni a chow so to a former good year. Bill. One year like no, unya bi. Because ye mawa, we presume say one year. Ye betray ye hu akwaban na ogina ho. We a shawan na shawan nua na shawan danfa because omu nyina anim ye pe. Especially with the China phone. Yeah. Enti Chairman Wontumi case ni the main say lawyer and Atta Akyea saw it afar no. But I think say one thing he made it clear and say na ohwe enema bia as a judge and comment judge ni demeanor any applications bia na wa make ya say ya rule etia na he was thinking say no I say the room facility for fair trial no na ohun ne send the client ni nya and say oh mama ample time ample facility na me client nya fair trial there and na me ni akire enye wodum
fair trial na eno ye dade
fair trial ne say attentere ne ohun ne say na ne client ni nya attentere ne
da obelu ana say
say me nya attentere ne say no automatically as watch chere po bi dey ato say me wen chengra wa ba kokora sana ne krata na ochroye no onu na dream no hu ne say onya fair trial.
Okay.
Onya ample time and facility because there are some applications you're really against na no ususu senka we dey clear in everything. Inti na dream no. Say me di ade we ya chia ye wodum sa say me kan see ya na e dey atoa me yese na e dey atoa ne dia e dey metwe me ho.
Wow.
No atwe ne ho.
Wow. So you share a evidence be na itimi damage Chairman Wontumi cases in ma akoba na say ba adru there. I was say okọ jail. The evidence be by our court no one says evidence we there intimi defend the cases no.
Evidence the odi bebre by. There are several evidence Chairman Wontumi dey by and there are several evidence so a prosecution no e dey by. Na ba ko judge ne kan was considering of the evidence and the element of the offenses charged. Charge sheet no contain mainly 2 offenses: assignment of mineral rights without approval and purposely facilitating an unlicensed mining operation. na ohwe count 1 and count 3 na assignment of mineral rights without approval na or say the first and the third accused persons, which is Chairman Wontumi and Akonta Mining.
Okay.
Also charge na ya charge na section 14 na SSA ye prove say ampa Chairman Wontumi no cra license and no cra license, no cra permit and answer no cra permit. Court and say that the accused person is a holder of a mineral right. And your man court nation you or she nti count 1 no ne count 3 no she say ampa nti niema ebeka say ingredient akwa no any adanse na modeba ohwem ni 1 that the accused person is a holder of a mineral right. 2 that the accused person did any of the following acts in respect of the mineral right, namely transfer, assign, or mortgage, or in other manner incumbent or deal with the mineral right, and that the accused person did any of the said acts or dealt with the mineral right without the minister's prior written approval. Or say, or can we in area no say, Chairman Wontumi alias Wontumi 49 years. Ne first, wa obtain.
Okay.
Or say, did without first or starting ansa na okwa akoje. Okoko starting.
Was starting
or starting
okay.
Or say Chairman Wontumi and Akonta Mining did without first obtaining the prior written approval of the minister permits Henry Okum fani say ukra license yes be mine dem ha so we transfer asase no e de ama bra kwampofo a ese se o chiro krata e de come minister
okay
e ka che minister se minister me beji to mi krata wo ho se me betu gala e wo fom ha na wada Roma me pese me de sa asasi e ma bra kwampofo enti so okoto se ama ye adwuma wo ho a ye me concession na mu no ye adwuma and the minister will give you approval say ane ko fama no ane enko enfama no eno wanye bi
okay
court ne che say 2024 no start operation no and ode asase ne ma Henry Okum na Michael Jedu ayisi se omun taking mining operation na omunni to me say omu ye adwuma e was our concession ne so into the first and accused person in relation of the alleged wrongdoing from the evidence of on record ne the court chair say the fact is significant and will form the basis of examining into court no chair say wan kwaje to me and minutes or say absence of ministerial approval wan ko minister ho and wan kwaje approval and fa free ho into one major no the court crab say is it to your knowledge that mining rights are transferable under the law Minerals and Mining Act 2007 and no say yes onim into onim pass mra can say you transfer na onim se mra ka say you transfer there and na say uhunu e kwan ya fa so e transfer eno na wanye ba kono no then dealing with minerals rights and also ewo wa wasasim se bebe yakubuti adebeche na wahu se sika kokko bebregu wo bedroom wo pie ba ho ehya asase na se asase na atese na yodia na so de ehye fom ho no yodia Ghana fo nyina me ka ho bi o mampani ne de tumi na yasase tumi ahye ne nsem
nananom kra nka ho
nananom ka ho because nananom asase so and most times no obetu gala ye koya mamre ni amane but ohini bia nso ni obetimi akatem say yetu gala e wona asase so onya we ohini bia ni wo ni obeka ne say na nkrata na ye de bre me no se efi abankasiem na de ba ye o na ye say o say obeye prospect om de say yanso boa oya we ye beba himfi abebo na na amane sanse kuro bia nsuo dem esi ekoya mamre eyi apaye esere edema o ebia na enko chia be fa dan na chi ako chami agene cat na woko ebia na nya we
Galafo no so mo skapa
oh ska so de ska de muska enti eno so ye baako na dealing with Minerals Act no section 14(1) of Act 703 eno so court ne kire se no kre Minerals Act no se owo se na oni na se o approve court say A1 agreed that I mine portions of the concession.
Okay.
Enti Chairman Wontumi portions are na ne part of the concession on my name.
Wow. What did become?
On my name.
Okay.
On mine portions of the concession. He also agreed that reclaim the portions of the land which he had previously mined by planting coconut seedlings thereon. A1 did not give any money to the reclamation work. You see, the whole case, no, one portion so ane interesting. They say, "Sa nipa mienu na ye kwache o me Michael Ayisi, any Henry Okumu no." According to their story, Chairman Wontumi, ese omunkoye reclamation no munua coconut.
Okay.
But according to them, Chairman Wontumi ama omuska. Wentwe omuka. Na mo ka che om say, asase no half na da hon. Monko mine. Sika na mbenyan. Na ese mu de twe. Mu de twia musika.
Okay.
That is their story.
The Chairman Wontumi na this concession na ma
Emma. And yes, one kwaji approve a permit. Every minister ho.
Okay.
And see, that is the story and for never kind. And ono anso jitu mu say ampa wa ma omuska. Wa ma omuska. And see, that was another a year. Ono so eti ase e wo ho a ekọ enti case ni de meka say Chairman Wontumi case no eye mining and Licensing Act into enye case a enkrofo bebre ase aye hey and because oye Chairman Wontumi nintia because your sentence ni pa bebre oko Western region koku Florida Eastern no ni ade your sentence ni pa bebre every blessed day galamsey ho but because they are Mubarak Yakubu okra say wodi presidential correspondent no ye bo odin a obi animu na emom quiet say be bra next year tie ya NSB Ernest obi anim Ernest nti Ernest se sabi o Eastern region Central Western near sentence no on galamsey a any news by a sentence Yakubu the parliament presidential correspondent a very big news
is it your friend is someone two galano, grade two galano, and your sentence your man as a honest or more concession.
Why a betcho?
Why a tune your sentence?
Yeah, true, dear. So now ye ogboro. So now ye a papi na yoka, una ye baby na yoka, una ye wan. In your cho, near do be do court, dear. You deal with the court. So court cassette were discharge you, and now police babe cassie in discharge you out. Fair enough. You'll be discharged. But ye natural the over court. When I better say also head pan, essence sukra or wa near chodo bar. Then but deal with the court.
But say in the intimate kungalano because honest now more employing performer a kungalano. Yen chill monai that's what chimofrana. Yes, mom to
Yakubuana Yabufra, and I want the illness.
To say Wontumi'S concession and DNC. Now I employ Ernest Mosamonia Juma. No about no be Ernest. Now won't you Wontumi? I don't know. Wontumi na concession and the into China. Obesa employing crop for na go to.
Yakubu, you see, in the work of the police, mini ni so be do concession be na ya choro. Chairman Wontumi concession. Yakubu concession. Ama Brakwampo for concession. No. The concession name eya contaminating. Enya contaminating na omampani dada na nado dankwa Kufuado ko kan ho asema me se video no e trend pa. Most people were not even aware say Chairman Wontumi dia. How would you know say Chairman Wontumi dia? That is it. Nti Yakubu, the issue of ye beche campaigns, ye beche wan ye beche wan. Ye check etoa. Na ye twe naso, na ye check ese na ye twe naso is the same thing. It's the same thing. Yen nyina na yes asase. Me call Dunkwao.
Okay.
Friday. Now, unfortunately for us, you're far Dampia forest, a very thick forest. Yakubu, Asat, Anajo 132, near Nam Forest in him. Wow. Serious, I'm saying, oh, my bastard is Minsruda. Minsruda, Missy Mad but this one there, Charlie, no, is serious. Obaba Akupa, many a whole team of 7 gentlemen, and then Nam, Omunada. And I have to keep the driver awake to your bonkomo. And Forest in my namno. Me do baby boom. Because ye share ma me nua nom so headpan. Kura touch. Nam Forest in him. Me am shame. And I be say bafo say bafo. Na ema me no di o me ensamanfo ana o me abaifo ana because 132.
Yeah, sometimes na abaifo ni pie no.
Sometimes na Forest na na mu ni kura no. Yakubu woni me say ye tra Forest no. Esi meka se akura bi ase no. Na obi bi say efa na mu fi ba na ese fi na say hey. Na mu ni ba bia mu fi ba no. Ye bisa kwan akosi obo ase. Ene ye yera ye. Na ekopi Forest no. Na say hey. Ba bia mu fi ba no. Yakubu, and interestingly, woni me say sa ma we no. Ya koye nim kodu ba bia fe. Enkura bi ehhehye ho ne hu se torchlight bebre ba. Torchlight woni me say o me du kwan no ho no. Obi ekura headpan. No mko galamsey site. Ebi ma hye wo machi. Wow. Ebi ma bo mo bon ketenkete. Wow. And asema metina aka ni ma na dwone kan ne say we can never fight galamsey. No. Okunwe, Yakubu forget. Me ne me hu ye no, we will not fight it. We can't because timemufo no, we are not ready to stop it. That is it. They are still doing it. Yakofa Tano ne so. Tano is still Tano, but Tano ene no hia ye sichiri a de begum. And te said ye hu na ye kan say ate no, me fi ho ba ene. And te ye me fa so Friday.
Me interested or nti mama ne den okan mo ka say oka say nka babia mu fi no muni mu ho na is galamsey na say
that Osik Forest na ye na mu ba no menim say ye forest a ye mfema na dwuno say ye nkomo because Yakubu at a point baby ane ye nam no na me so say me video because me hu dampra forest deep forest and at a point ye nam rock akese rock will say rock sea and ye nam infinity
yeah
and baby ba ko pe na ekodu ya we met a gentleman no nam forest in him but me hu ne say ebi oyobia na adwe mu kano because baby no nam at that time no ade bi bonensa o de bibia boniti onkura dade onkura hwe onkura touch onkura hwe eno nam nwuranu eno nam ekwan and you could see say ye kwan kura ka fama meje di say by 3 na ka fam bi because a very thick forest ehu ndi ebisa eno kura gentleman bi o ti dua bi ase eni ebisa no
sa homache no
sa na jo no
okay
eni ebisa so ye pe road bi esi obo ase o se aha ye nam kran so de nka yayera ti ensansan ye chi na se bra ye ensansan ye chi eni nka he na ejina dai eno se ye kwan na wo ye nim no e wa pa ena me se bra kire na no so na ye befa ya chi ya drive be 4 hours ya yira ye kodu kuhia no na nka ese ye to asoko ena ye bi so obi no ka kire so oh there is a short way enti yemfa eho Yakubu ene nka ye fasin kuhia na na ye ko ekora nka ye ti sa short way no ye drive be 4 hours
wow
ni na mumuranim at the point me take ni me pa ya na mbo answer I do de for me try na me nware me ngo it's interesting
yeah to me case no 20 years no mo obrofo bi amutaka ko currently ni ayi we no de hen na ko currently say no a no say say
okay so my main kind the last part of the judgment
okay
having listened to counsel for first and third accused plea in mitigation say you can say plea mitigation there can you na say ya can say me nyina wie no you see you have been convicted Yenya catch you say you are convicted. Tenasi because conviction e niema mienu anam yensa.
Okay.
Either say sa kwadu na ye de ball no e misdemeanor eno ebi you are fine and say maximum cry 3 years. Nti eno de afa ho dwane.
Misdemeanor na ye.
Misdemeanor ye bone nketinkete.
Okay.
Bone nketinkete.
Instead of nye bibi.
And shed debi.
Akobia tomatoes ne body no.
Ah, krono nketinkete bi.
Okay.
Aha, yebeka say petty stealing bi.
Yeah.
Ni ade. Either say yebeka say ya fine no. Ana say imprisonment, ana both.
Okay.
Na nsa na temuafo no beka sa no. Yebeka say ka bibi. Obetimi apop temuafo no chewo. Obeka cho temuafo no so me first time ni na me nimu mpo. Nti temuafo wadaroma. We dey mensa da mensa yem. Sa abre no me mehu nkrofo bebra mutimi bu nkotodwe no apagya nensa. No start isu. Obi timi cartons. Obi timi gina ho no amu na hwe. Temuafo me yere wo fie me ma me yere kura anyam obewu jamochena temuafo de me kwa me na me breadwinner eni obi aka ne ope wo lawyer na ebe yesa adwuma no e de ama wo ni lawyer de a eni ewa eni e friend plea of mitigation. Court ne say otie plea of mitigation the first accused person who is Chairman Wontumi and the third accused person Akonta Mining. Or say accused persons are sentenced as follows. Or say taking into account the fact that the first and third accused persons are first-time offenders. Inti omo enena mon kan say na say Chairman Wontumi a first-time offender and the court now consider no we a court na judgment no this is a certified copy. Court say or consider ye
as first timer.
As a first time offender. Or consider say or ye first time offender or taking into account the fact that the first and third accused persons are first time offenders and generally their plea in mitigation. The court sentences the accused persons as follows. On count 1, the accused person is sentenced to serve a term of 20 years imprisonment in hard labor in IHL and also to a fine of 10,000 penalty units. In default, serve 3 years in hard labor.
Wow.
10,000 penalty units, every penalty unit, one penalty unit, 12 cedis. Until multiply 12 by 10,000, we get 120,000 Ghana cedis, which is owed 1.2 billion. For them 20 years. Century says Kawi. When Tria says Kawi, send them 3 years account. Yes, when Tria they are. Where why didn't say mean Tria? Now so the show trim said 23 years. Who could tell you two? Abba. On count 4, the first accused, which is Chairman Wontumi, into count 1, no, Chairman Wontumi nkoadia. Count 4, the first accused is sentenced to serve a term of 20 years imprisonment in hard labor and also to a fine of 10,000 penalty units in default, 3 years in hard labor. Count 3, the third accused, which is Akonta Mining,
okay,
or a company, so count 3, the third accused person, Akonta Mining, is sentenced to a fine of 15,000 penalty units.
15,000.
To multiply 15 by 12. New Benyano, 180,000 Ghana cedis, which is 1.8 billion. And then Awutria, which is Akonta Mining. Count 6. On count 6, the third accused person, Akonta Mining, is sentenced to pay a fine of 15,000 penalty unit. Enti Chairman Wontumi aso twe eye mienu. The campaign aso twe eye mienu. Court ni wie yen e no kaka ho say the sentences are to run concurrently. Say one can say dia ka Chairman Wontumi ko 40 years. Na afi penalty unity no yakeka ni nyina bom na wetu SS kan so. But court ni wie no say the sentences are to run concurrently. So you choose the bigger one, which is the sentence, and you choose the bigger money to pay. And interestingly, Chairman Wontumi 10,000 penalty unit. Akonta mine nso ye wa there.
Yeah.
Into akonta mine no obetua 15,000 penalty unit, which is 1.8 billion. Na fe oforoba ne soro ho na wono ne sentence no obetua 20 years no. Ewo ho. Na fe ne 10,000 penalty unit, which is 1.2 old billion.
Yeah.
And also wetua. Hey. Court ni we no say, in addition to the above, pursuant to Section 9 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, at 703 as amended by the Mineral and Mining Amendment Act 2019, Act 995, all items retrieved from the third accused person's concession, as aforesaid, are fortified to the state. To the state. In dealing with the fortified item, the minister shall comply with Section 10 of the Act. Inti, enema yekosisaye, excavators bibribe ya yesisaye, dadie, ituo, water pumping machines ni adina. God to say, amai, found that also. Sana ye new act no, amended act no, ni eka eno no.
Inti, ya jije bibia o site wa Evan Sabain akoko ya bayan dia. Sabain betime yusu.
Aban betime yusu. Chairman Wontumi pii ba ne, kwara Wontumi meka se ye ne dia.
Ne dia biem. Nti we na nkonkoba ne se ehun se eye na agrada de no. Ekoba ne se even 15 years so sedai. Na court mkofa appeal ne yi. Ibe na watwa 8 months. Se 1 year so kra. We na nkoba ne sa intimacy sa.
Agubu. Chairman Wontumi wo kwan bebre da nanim. Meka se Chairman Wontumi wo kwan bebre da nanim a. Chairman Wontumi kwan bebre wo da nanim se 1. Obetimi afo akọ court of appeal.
Okay.
And I say appeals court. I mean can I say appeals, the correct term is appeals court.
Okay.
E ho ya appeal nko ani de ko. Ofi appeals court a. Obetimi akọ Supreme Court.
Okay.
O wakonya da nanim. And even with the substantive appeal, which say matter say lawyer Andy Apiakubi, the former lawyer, kra kan wo baby say enra Chairman Wontumi friend ka chen say the lawyer Samuel Atta Akyea eni ho. Enti say yes sentence na omonya appeal man. I will never be surprised say if he ochina anase Friday kra kon. But to say appeal na you ready ama file document na I will not be surprised.
The former lawyer betime ono be kwa na say oni
matter say the former lawyer ka say omonya appeal man.
Okay.
Nti said definitely the lawyer any ho bo be na mane say o client e frame me ka chem say omonya appeal nti so definitely they will do the appeal. And appeal no obetimi edikan kra ko bail pending appeal. Ah o ye lucky a court betimi a grant ni bail.
Okay.
No wa bet na fie. Na oko ebi eye Pastor Love.
Okay.
Pastor Love fear what is say no what efie because of bail pending appeal. Bail pending appeal na what efie.
Okay.
2 eye atuesien. Atuesien tifie because of bail pending appeal. Okay. There are other people almost wo fie bail pending appeal. Enti e betimi ama o bail pending appeal na fie. What twaso akọ court no time bia ye be free bia no apenti meka se akwanya bebre ewo ehọ a obetimi akọ akọ appeal no obetimi akọ appeals court obetimi akọ Supreme Court then obetimi so file bill pending appeal no eno kra no obetimi aye ewo high court wa
ndini je se Chairman Wontumi was first time offender in Tina wanya 20 years in one. Can this are 25 no? judgment.
Okay, 25 near maximum. And judgment there, apart from say, Becca say, laid down rules a dahono. No crane say, judge bia, and he said, ye, ohunu, and how deterrent or per se, sa semino, because judge and can say, in the judgment, no can say, or serve this notice to serve as a deterrent.
Okay.
To obi a wotu a form a goodie because no cre or say a form a goodie to no I say a baby or say sentencing the court takes notice of the gravity of the offenses and the need for deterrence to avert the environmental disaster that might befall the nation. The more law enforcement stays aloof and allows illegal mining activities to persist in the country. The offenses in the case relate to illegal exploitation of minerals resources, which are the property of the state. The conduct of the first and third accused persons undermines the regulatory framework for the mining sector and contributes to environmental degradation associated with illegal mining. And the judge was explicit say this is to serve as a deterrent. And the Yakubu there be a sentence ni bi wo ho ye ne such a way say e di ehu e be hye enkrofo mu said ye enkrofo be hu say ade na wo kwa akoye no ade na wo ye no obi akwa akoye bi ama na so aye hye nti wo kwa akoye bi a na wa hwe gyan.
Okay, all right, nti ye ba be wi a na sa ye hwe eba no bibi say do a case no asifa ekono ebetima koba ne se Chairman Wontumi kwakoye appeal no ana mpokura said after 20 years yi mpokura no otwa wi na wanti ntwa wi a wada ne ex-convict anaze ne aye die senior man onya ex-convict
se ame no ka se Chairman Wontumi ye convict nti otwa wi na oba ana okoye bail pending appeal na ye grante ema no Grandpa, are you convict?
Ne bail, ye jailing na surprise to mo. Mo am walk out or trade me na anyway na. Was it a surprise to microphone and way side on?
Me as a court reporter, and the evidence adduced before court, you're convicted, no. I was not surprised. But my surprise was the sentence.
Okay. 20 years, no.
20 years, no. But 20 years no, no, it got to a point that I wasn't surprised anymore because me we convicted no we na me check say the new act no sentence they range from here to here. To me who said was 15 to 25 years now and I'm okay.
It's normal.
Within the range. It isn't outrageous because you see after a full trial no judge be ni ho the minimum.
15. Okay.
No.
Welcome to the Base USA, where we put Ghana first and empower the youth for a global impact.